Unit 1, Basic Electrical Terms and Units. In this unit, we learn first of all the definition of current, voltage and resistance. After that, the Ohm's law, limitations of Ohm's law, resistor and its coding, temperature coefficient of resistance, resistance variation with temperature. So first of all, current. An electrical current is a stream of charged particles such as electrons or ions moving through an electric conductor or space. It is measured at the net rate of flow of electric charge past a region. The unit of current is ampere. For a steady flow of charge through a surface, the current can be calculated with the following equation: I equal to Q by T, where Q is your charge and T is your time taken for transfer that charge. Right? So if Q and T are measured in coulombs in second respectively, then the unit of current is ampere. Voltage. Voltage, electric potential difference, electric pressure or electric tension is the difference in electric potential between 2 points, which is defined as the work needed per unit of charge to move a test charge between the 2 points. In SI unit, the work per unit charge is expressed as a joule per coulomb, where 1 volt equal to 1 joule per 1 coulomb. The voltage is denoted by V, del V, and sometimes it is also denoted by U. And a voltmeter can be used to measure the voltage between 2 points in a system. Resistance. In electronics electromagnetism, the electrical resistance of an object is a measure of its opposition to the flow of electric current. The unit of resistance is ohm. It is denoted by R. Ohm's law. So Ohm's law states that the current through an ND conductor is directly proportional to voltage or potential difference between its ends if the physical conditions of the conductor do not change. Right? So see here this is your circuit. We apply the voltage V. At that time the current is flowing from this circuit is I, and this is your resistance. So according to the Ohm's law, the I is directly proportional to the V. If we remove the proportionality constant, then I equal to 1 upon R into V. So Ohm's law we normally state is V equal to IR, right? Limitations of Ohm's law. There are two limitations of Ohm's law. One is Ohm's law is not applicable to unilateral network. Now unilateral network, it's the network which allows the current to flow in one direction. The element of such type of unilateral is a diode and a transistor. Ohm's law is also not applicable to non-linear element. Non-linear elements are those which do not have a current exactly proportional to the applied voltage. That means the resistance value of those elements changes for different value of voltage and current. The example of non-linear element is thyristor. We can use thyristor as a switch recently. These are the some VI characteristics of different elements, right? If the value of resistance is large, then we get this type of VI characteristic. It is a linear one. If the value of resistance is small, then at the time we got this type of VI characteristic. And if your element is diode, then the diode is a non-linear element, and therefore the VI characteristic of diode is this type. A resistor in an electrical component that limits or regulates the flow of electrical current in an electronic circuit. Resistance is the most important blocks of electrical circuit. It is made up of clay or carbon, right? But they are not only good conductor but good insulators also. These are the image of resistors. Now, how to read the resistor color code, right? If you in physically the resistance is given to you, and if anyone is asked to how much the value of your resistor, then you can read by using these tables, right? Now, suppose this is your resistor. In that there are 6 bands are there, right? So the first band color is red. So according to the red color, your first value is 2, right? Second band is violet. So according to the violet color, your second value is 7. Third one is a yellow. So according to the third band, your value is 4. Fourth band is black. So it is a multiplier. that is multiplied by 1. Fifth one is your code tolerance, so it is red, so it is plus or minus 2%. And sixth one is the temperature coefficient, so it is black, that is 250 ppm per Kelvin, right? So your resistance value for this type of color code is 274 ohm plus or minus 2%, 250 ppm per Kelvin, right? By this way, you can read the registered color code. Resistance of a conducting material is calculated using R equal to rho L by A, where rho is your resistivity, L is your length, and A is your cross-section area. So the resistance of a conducting material is found to be directly proportional to the length of the material, is inversely proportional to the cross-section area of a material. It's depend on the nature of the material and also depends upon the temperature. The resistivity is commonly represented by a Greek letter rho, and the unit of resistivity is ohm into meter. Now see, if we increase the length, then the resistance is increased. If we decrease the area, then the resistance is also decreasing. The resistance of an object depends in large part on the material it is made of. If the object is made of electrical insulator like rubber, it tends to have very high resistance and low conductivity, while the conductor like metal have a very low resistance and high conductivity. The resistance of an object also depends on the size and shape of an object because these properties are extensive rather than intensive. So here the difference between insulator, conductor and semiconductor is given. Conductor, right? If it is a material which has a large number of free electrons, so the current can easily flow through it. It is called the conducting material. The example of conducting material is silver, copper, aluminum, and all other metals. Insulator. If the outer electrons of a material are very tightly bound to the nucleus, it becomes very difficult to remove from their orbits. Hence, the current cannot flow through such material and they are known as an insulator. The example of insulating material are mica, porcelain, glass, oil, and rubber. Semiconductor. It is a material in which outer electrons are bound to the nucleus, but electrons can be made free by some means by adding some impurity. It is called the semiconducting material. The example of semiconducting material are germanium and silicon. Next topic is temperature coefficient of resistance. Resistance of almost all the materials changes with the change in temperature. If the R0 is your initial resistance at 0 degrees Celsius and RT is the resistance of the material at 3 degrees Celsius, then the change in resistance it is denoted by del R equal to RT minus R0. So it can be found that it is directly proportional to the initial resistance and the directly proportional change in temperature. Thus, del R is directly proportional to the initial resistance. So del R is proportional to the R0 and it is also directly proportional to the change in temperature. So del R is proportional to R0 into T. So put the value of del R, it is RT minus R0. So we get RT minus R0 is proportional to R0T. If we remove the proportional constant and put it the alpha 0, then our equation becomes RT minus R0 is equal to alpha 0 alpha R0T, where the alpha is your temperature coefficient, right? The variation of resistance with change in temperature of any material is given by this property, alpha equal to RT minus R0 divided by R0 into T. So the definition of temperature coefficient is the change in resistance per unit rise in temperature per ohm original resistance. That means the temperature coefficient of resistance alpha is defined as the change in resistance per unit rise in temperature per ohm original resistance. Right? We write this definition from this equation number 1. So usually the temperature coefficient is taken at a particular reference temperature which is normally taken as a 0 degree Celsius. Therefore, it is denoted by alpha 0. So when we rewriting the equation number 1, so RT equal to R0 into bracket 1 plus alpha 0 T. Now next topic is resistance at different temperatures. If at a standard temperature of 0 degree Celsius, a material has a resistance of R0 ohms. So at T1 degree Celsius, the resistance is R1 ohm and T2 degree Celsius, it is R2 ohm. then R1 equal to R0 into 1 plus alpha 0 T1 and R2 equal to R0 into 1 plus alpha 0 T2. This equation we write from by reference of taking this, right? So by taking the ratio of R2 by R1, we get the 1 upon alpha 0 T1 by 1 upon alpha 0 T2 by 1 upon alpha 0 T1. So R2 upon R1 equal to 1 upon alpha 0 T2 divided by 1 upon alpha 0 T1. If a temperature coefficient alpha 0 and resistance R0 are not given, then the relation between known resistance RT1 and T1 degree Celsius and the resistance of unknown resistance RT2 at T2 degree Celsius can be found, right, by following steps. So alpha T1 is equal to temperature coefficient resistance at T1 degree Celsius. So according to the definitions of slope of the graph, the alpha T1 is equal to slope of the graph divided by resistance at T1 degree Celsius. So if we take a slope of the graph as a mean, then this equation becomes slope of the graph equal to alpha T1 into RT1, where RT1 is your resistance at T1 degree Celsius. So see the graph here, right? On x-axis, this is the time, and on y-axis, this is the R. So initially at 0 degrees Celsius, your resistance value is R0. Now if we increase the temperature up to T1 degree Celsius, at the time we get the value of resistance is RT1. Similarly at T2 degree Celsius, the resistance is RT2. So the slope of the graph for this is AB upon BC, where AB is equal to RT2 minus RT1 and BC is equal to T2 minus T1. So by putting that value, we got this equation. Slope of the graph equal to RT2 minus RT1 divided by T2 minus T1. So as we already know, the slope of the graph is alpha T1 into RT1. So put the value of slope of the graph, we got alpha T1 into RT1 equal to RT2 minus RT1 divided by T2 minus T1. So if we make the RT2 as a main, then we get RT2 equal to RT1 into 1 plus alpha T1 into bracket T2 minus T1. Right? We can use this equation if the initial value of resistance is not given at 0 degrees Celsius. Right? Now temperature coefficient at various temperature. Consider a conductor having a R0 and R1 at a temperature 0 degrees Celsius and T1 degrees Celsius respectively. Let A0 and alpha 0 and alpha 1 be the temperature coefficient of resistance of the conductor at 0 degrees Celsius and T1 degrees Celsius respectively. So the alpha 0 is equal to slope of the graph divided by R0, and then similarly the alpha 1 is equal to slope of the graph divided by R1. So if we made the slope of the graph constant, then slope of the graph is the main equation. So slope of the graph equal to alpha 0 R0. Similarly, slope of the graph equal to alpha 1 R1. So when we compare both the equation alpha 0 into R0 equal to alpha 1 into R1 and take alpha 1 as a main, so alpha 1 is equal to alpha 0 R0 upon R1. Now R1, so we can use the equation RT equal to R0 into 1 plus alpha 0 T. Similar equation we can use, and putting the value of R1, we got R0 into 1 plus alpha 0 T1. So final equation of alpha 1 is R0 is cancelled out. So alpha 1 is equal to alpha 0 upon 1 plus alpha 0 T1. Similarly, we get alpha 2 equal to alpha 0 upon 1 plus alpha 0 T2. So subtracting the reciprocal of equation 1 and from the reciprocal of equation 2 means 1 upon alpha 2 minus 1 upon alpha 1 equal to 1 plus alpha 0 T2 upon alpha 0 minus 1 plus alpha 0 T1 upon alpha 0. When we solve this equation, we get T2 minus T1. So by making alpha 2 as a main, we got alpha 2 equal to 1 upon alpha 1 plus T2 minus T1, where T2 minus T1 is a temperature difference, right? And alpha 1 is a temperature coefficient at T1 degree Celsius, and alpha 2 is a temperature coefficient at T2 degree Celsius. Now, effect of temperature on resistance. So there are three different materials are there: metals, alloys, and insulators, semiconductor, and electrolytes. So resistance of a pure metals increase with rising temperature. That means if you increase the temperature, then the resistance is increased. Similarly, the in alloys, the resistance of alloys increases with the rise in temperature. But in insulator, semiconductor, and electrolytics, right, the resistance is decreased with the rise in temperature. The second main points of this comparison is the increasing resistance is large and regular in metals, but the increasing resistance is irregular and small in alloys. As the temperature is increased, many electrons are free. Free electrons are created in insulators and semiconductors. So examples of metals are copper, aluminum, alloys are nichrome, and the insulator, semiconductor, and electronics are rubber, oil, and plastics. So first example is a wire has a resistance of 2 ohm. It has been stretched to the length 3 times that of the original. What will be resistance of a wire? So here the resistance is given 2 ohm, and if we increase the length by 3 times, so we can calculate the new resistance. So the initially the R equal to rho L by A, as you know this equation. Now multiply this equation by multiply and division this equation by L. So we get rho L square upon AL. Now as you know that the volume is equal to area into length. So we put A into L is equal to V volume. So our equation become R equal to rho L square by V. So now if we increase the length, at the time the resistance is increasing. So rho and V is become a constant, right? So R is directly proportional to L square. So if we take the ratio R2 by R1, so from this equation it is become L2 by L1 whole square. So as you know that the R1 is a 2 ohm and L2, if we increase the length 3 times, then the new length is found. So L2 is equal to 3L1. So by putting the value of L2 and R1 in this equation, we get the R2 equal to 2 into 3L1 upon L1 whole square. L1 and L will cancel out. 3 square is 9. 9 into 2 is 18. So your new resistance, if we increase the length by 3 times, it is 18 ohm. Second examples. Calculate the resistance of 100-meter length of a wire having a uniform cross-section area of 0.1 mm square. If the wire is made of magnetic having a resistivity of 50 into 10 to minus 8 ohm into meter, if the wire is drawn out of 3 times its original length, find out new resistance. Now initially here the length, area and resistivity is given. So by using that, we can calculate the first of all resistance of the material. And again the same way, by using R equal to rho L by A equation, we can find the new value of resistance by increasing the length by 3 times. So here the length is 100 meter. Area is 0.1 mm square. It is in mm square. So first of all convert it to meter because the length is in meter. Rho is 15 to 10 to minus 8 ohm into meter. So the new area, if we convert it into meter, it is 0.1 into 10 to minus 6 meters square. So by putting the value of rho L and A, you can get the value of R, which is 500 ohm. Now, as we know that R is proportional to the L square, so R2 is equal to R2 is equal to R1 into L2 upon L1 whole square. So R1 is your 500 and the ratio by L2 by L1 is 3. So 3 square is 9. 9 into 500. So your new resistance value is 4500 ohm. Third example. A resistance wire 10 meter long and a cross section area 10 mm square at 0 degrees Celsius passes a current of 10 ampere. When connected to a DC supply of 200 volts, calculate resistivity of the material. Second is a current which will flow through the wire when the temperature rises to 50 degrees Celsius. The alpha 0 is taken as a 0.0003 per degree Celsius. So here again the L and A is given, I is given, V is given. So first of all, by using the Ohm's law, V equal to IR, right? We can find the value of R. So it is 20 ohm. Now after that, you can find R equal to rho L by A. By putting a value of L, A and R0, you can find the resistivity. Rho 0 equal to 20 into 10 to the minus 6 ohm into meter. Now resistance will increase with the increase in temperature. So RT equal to R0 into 1 plus alpha 0 T1. As you know that the R0 is 20 degree, alpha 0 is 0.0003 and the T1 is 50. By putting that, you can find the value of resistance at 50 degrees Celsius. It is 20.3. So as the voltage is constant, but resistance is changed at 50 degrees. So current at 50 degrees Celsius is I50 equal to V upon R50. So V is 200. Resistance at 50 degrees is 20.3. By putting a value of V and R, we get the value of current is 9.85 ampere. A copper coil has a resistance of 12.2 ohm at 28 degrees Celsius and 14.4 ohm at 44 degrees Celsius. Find the first temperature coefficient of resistance at 0 degrees Celsius. Second, temperature of coil at 0 degrees Celsius. Third, temperature coefficient of resistance at 60 degrees Celsius. Fourth, resistance of coil at 75 degrees Celsius. So here the two different temperature, like 28 degree and 44 degrees given. According to that temperature, two resistance value is given. At 28 degree, the resistance is 12.2. Similarly, at 44 degrees Celsius, the resistance is 14.4. So by using this equation, R2 by R1 equal to 1 upon alpha 0 T2 upon 1 upon alpha 0 T1. As the T2, T1, R2 and R1 is already known, so we can get the value of alpha 0. So alpha 0 is equal to 0.016 coulomb inverse. This is temperature coefficient of resistance at 0 degrees Celsius. Now second one is the temperature of coil at 0 degrees Celsius. So as we know that RT equal to R0 into 1 plus alpha 0 T. So RT1 equal to R0 into 1 plus alpha 0 T1. So by putting the value of alpha 0 T1 and RT, you can get the value of resistance at 0 degrees Celsius. So it is 8.425 ohm. Now third is temperature coefficient of resistance at 60 degrees Celsius. As we already derived the equation alpha T equal to alpha 0 upon 1 plus alpha 0 T. So alpha 0 is 0.016. Here T is 60 degree. So by putting a value of alpha 0 and T, you will get the temperature coefficient of resistance at 60 degree. It is 0.0082. 0.0082 degree coulomb inverse. Now final one, resistance of coil at 75 degrees Celsius. So RT equal to R0 into 1 plus alpha 0 T. So here R0 is, we already find that it is 8.425. Alpha 0 is 0.016 and temperature is 75. By putting the value of R0, alpha 0 and T, you can get the resistance at 75 degrees Celsius, which is 18.54 ohm. Next examples, a 100 watt, 200 volt bulb is connected in series with a 100 watt, 250 volt bulb across a 250 volt supply. Calculate the circuit current and the voltage across each lamp as if bulb resistance to remain unchanged. So here the two bulbs are connected in a series, right, by this way. Here, 100 watt, 200 volt and 100 watt, 250 volt. So the resistance of this bulb is R equal to V square by P. So V is 200, P is 100. So by putting the value of V and P, you can get the value of resistance is 400 ohm. So by replacing the resistance value, it is like this one, 400 ohm. Similarly for bulb 2, we can also find the resistance value R2. So R2 equal to again V square by P. At the time the V is 250 and P is 100. So by putting the value of V and P, we get the R2 equal to 625 ohm. So both the resistance are connected in a series because two bulbs are connected in a series. So equivalent of this is 1025 ohm, because when the resistors are connected in series, then R equivalent is equal to R1 plus R2. So it is 1025 ohm. So as the voltage is 250 and your total resistance is 1025, so you can find the current by using Ohm's law, V equal to IR. So I equal to V by R. V is 250, R is 1025. So you can get the circuit current is equal to 0.244 ampere. Now second one is the voltage across each lamp. So the voltage V equal to IR, right? It is called the voltage drop. So put the value of voltage across 200 volt bulb is IR1. Put the value of I and R1. So we get the voltage of across 2 volt bulb is 97.6 volt. Similarly, voltage across the 250 volt bulb is equal to IR2 equal to 0.244 into 625. So it is 152.5 volt. Next example. Two bulbs rated 250 volts, 60 watt and 100 watts respectively are connected in a series across 200 volt. Find a voltage across each bulb. So again, first of all, we find the power. The power is given and voltage is given. So first of all, we find the resistance. So R1 is equal to V square by P. So V is 250 and P is 60. So we get the resistance of 60 watt bulb is 1041.66 ohm. Similarly, R2 equal to V square by P. Now at the time the P is 100 watt and V is 250. So we get the R2 equal to 625 ohm. The two resistors are connected in a series. So equivalent resistance is R equal to R1 plus R2. So it is 0.66 ohm. So after that, the voltage is given, it is 200 volt. So again use the same equation, V equal to IR. So you can get the value of current, and the voltage across each bulb is V equal to IR1 and V equal to IR2 respectively. So by putting the value of IR1 and IR2, we get the voltage is 125 volt across bulb 1 and the 75 volt across bulb 2. So these are the some basic equations, right, which we can use during the examples.